This is a HeadGum podcast.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like you know to check that you bring your favorite lip tint with you when you're headed to a late night TV show to make an appearance. You want those lips to pop on national television.
Checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Handsome, chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod. Chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod.
Pretty little episode.
Hello, it is your dear friend, Tig Notaro, sitting here with my co-host,
your other dear friend, Mavis Martin.
Hello, Mavis Martin. How are you?
I'm well, actually. I just got back from the desert.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was going on there?
Like minutes ago. I feel like a new person. Like, I feel like I got some sun. I slept in a dome.
Oh, yeah. You texted me a picture of the dome. Did you get, when you were in the sun, did you get nut brown?
I immediately started peeling. Like, my nose started peeling. I don't really go nut brown, but this dome, I feel like we all got to get one. For the pod, maybe? It's like a clear dome.
Put it on the list, Thomas.
Yeah,
okay.
Giant pod for the pod. It was pretty amazing. I fell asleep looking at the stars through this clear dome, and it was a new moon, so the stars were super bright. But then, like, as soon as the sun comes up, it gets really fucking hot. Yeah, you cook. And then I stepped on a lizard with my bare foot.
Oh, did it die?
I felt a squishy feeling, and then
it died.
It kind of waddled away, but I think it might die soon.
It died.
Yeah, I think it might die soon.
May, that's really bad news.
How
big of a lizard?
Like a gecko little guy. Oh, God, it was awful. Yeah. I feel like I've been in like grade 5, I stepped on a snail, and I've been holding on to it ever since, like feeling guilty.
Yeah.
How are you? What's going on with you?
I was okay until you told me about the lizard.
I'm so sorry. It's a horrible image.
What was that you just lifted? A jug of water?
Oh, thanks for asking. I'm going to drink this whole jug. I feel like I got to hydrate from the inside out. After the desert, I'm really parched.
When did you get started?
Yesterday, and I've only made a small dent in this giant thing, yeah.
You're not planning on drinking that whole thing today, are you?
I am, actually. Is that too, am I going to drown?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm older than you, but I would be getting up a bunch in the night. But you stay up later than I do, I think.
Yeah, but I definitely get up to pee as well. But I also bought this stuff that you add to water to make it taste better, and it's basically sugar.
What do you mean taste better? You don't like the taste of water?
I do, but I'm going to drink it more if it has the qualities of a juice. Oh, you got a glass of water there.
Yes, I do. And when Stephanie and I went to Mississippi to visit my family one time, my cousin was drinking a large, whatever. It wasn't a jug, but like, those big things. That can go in the cup holder, but it's like a super, super big gulp, reusable. Stephanie said, "What are you drinking?" And she said, "Water. I've been trying to drink more water." And Stephanie was like, "Oh, okay, that's good." And she goes, "Yeah, I just throw some Skittles in there."
No. You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. She throws Skittles into her water to make it taste better. So I should probably let her know about whatever it is that you're having, so she's not drinking Skittle water.
I so can taste in my mouth what that tastes like, Skittle water. Oh my God. I used to put them in Coca-Cola when I was a kid, and they kind of fizz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I like Skittles, I have to say.
Love a Skittle. Taste the rainbow.
Yeah, I guess they're like really bad for you.
Are they?
Apparently they're some of the worst that you... Oh, I don't need to go in and like bash anybody's company. But anyway, even though they're really bad for you, my cousin uses them to make herself healthier. So
I thought it works. Listen, whatever gets you through the day, whatever gets that water into your bod. My parents only drink wine and coffee, really. They don't drink.
no.
Yeah, they don't really drink water, but they're trying. And one of the things that they did to help themselves try is they squeezed a bunch of limes and added sugar and like cooked it down into a kind of syrup, and they made
Okay.
their own like lime cordial that they mix with water to
Oh,
try to get some water down them.
okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to go back to this dome you were sleeping in.
Thanks.
Is it? Yeah. Is it?
Thought
It's
we moved on from that too fast.
yeah. It's glass. Is
I
it,
guess
or
it's
plastic or?
yeah, like Perspex or something, like some kind of plastic, but it's yeah, very you feel really exposed.
Okay.
Like I rented an Airbnb and then the dome was in the backyard. So my friends slept in the beds and I slept in the dome.
And is the dome? What is it for? What is it?
Looking at the stars, sleeping.
Really?
Yeah,
So it is
yeah.
specifically something to go out and sleep in. You don't live in it.
No, you would
Yeah.
cook, I think. You would just bake.
And you have
Yeah.
to get up early, obviously.
Oh man, it was nice though. Like you get it, the sun comes up and like I didn't set my alarm. I just let the sun wake me up on my face and then you feel like you're, yeah, in the elements, but you're not.
And
You're safe and sound, safe from all scorpions and
and do they have a bed set up in there? Or you had to bring your sleeping bag.
no, beautiful big bed, electricity, little desk.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
I was thinking I got to get a dome for my place, like in the backyard. And then I thought if I get a dome before I get my driver's license, that's so LA. Like I got to just learn to drive. I can't be buying domes.
What about a dome on wheels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool. It would look like little tortoises going around.
Yeah. But you can only drive at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. And now that you're explaining what it was, because you were like, oh, I slept in this last night. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I was
Yeah.
also like, what is this?
Yeah.
I have more questions, but I guess I'll leave it for the podcast.
Yeah.
But now that I know, it's very appealing to me.
Because are you much of a camper? I'm not much of a camper.
I used to camp more. I was in a relationship once with somebody that really liked to camp, and so we went and did that. But Stephanie is not a camper.
Right.
However, when we were in Ojai, apparently she had a conversation with Emily Salyers from the Indigo Girls and about camping. Emily was like, we should all go camping or something like that. And Stephanie was like, eh. And then it turned into glamping.
Yeah,
Are you
that's what. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what the domes are. It's glamping. I think that's more our speed.
Yeah.
I should be I'm a Canadian, like I should be camping, but
You really should. You should be
should-
camping. What are you doing here right now?
I know. Why am I not in a tent? I listen to too much true crime, and also I don't have all the gear. It's an expensive
Oh, were you
hobby.
scared in the dome?
I was a little scared in the dome, yeah, because imagine if you woke up and there was just someone
Yeah.
pressed against the glass looking in at you like you're
Who were you in there? Were you sleeping with anyone in there?
No, I was by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
That is bold.
Yeah, it felt bold.
Were you sleeping naked?
No, I slept in pajamas and then I woke up so hot from the sun and I was too tired to move out. So then I did get naked and then you're really vulnerable in your dome.
Remember the other day I was saying I feel like the coolest person taking a walk at 6:45 in the morning?
Yeah.
Well, this feels like you're kind of beating me to all of the cool early morning stuff.
The first hit to the sun.
That would be so incredible, I think.
I love it.
Yeah.
But then definitely a fly in the ointment when you step on a lizard first thing, as soon as you exit the dome.
Why'd you bring that up again?
Sorry. this poor little guy.
I know.
They're resilient, like their tails grow back. I'm hoping his internal organs also grew back.
Grow back. Yeah. Well, should we see what our first question asker is now that we're sad?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Go, May. Oh, and you have red stuff in there. Does it taste better?
I just added it, but the flavor has gone all the way to the bottom, so I don't know what to do about that.
Shake it.
Yeah.
Hi, handsomes. My name is Kayla, and I live in Utah. I was wondering, who was your very first famous friend? And how did you navigate that relationship? Did you feel starstruck? Did you feel out of place? And I also want to know how you met them.
Wow, that's a great question.
It's interesting. I know who mine is. Do you know who yours is?
I'm trying to think. And was yours like before you were in the industry and stuff like that?
No, I was in the industry, in the entertainment industry. I just had been kind of bobbing around as just an open mic comedian. And then I did, well, it's Sarah Silverman. And the first time I met her was actually at a mutual friend's birthday party at a comedy club. And I remember we were, she said, "Oh, I really like your pants." And then we started talking. And then it turned out we lived kind of down the street from each other. And then everything, like, what's your favorite color? All that kind of boring stuff where we were like laughing because it was lining up and just hitting every time, like, no way. And then the big moment was like, I said, "Okay, who is your like favorite female rock and roll singer?"
Okay.
And she said, Chrissy Hind. And
no,
I was like,
that's your girl.
yeah. And I was like, no way. And then so she said, yeah. And her boyfriend was standing nearby and she went and grabbed him and she said, "Who is my favorite like female rock singer?" And he was like, "Chrissy Hind." And I was like, oh my God. It was so insane. And then she wasn't terribly famous at the time. She was just kind of, you know.
Because I think of you guys as like, similar timelines, but I guess she had come up earlier.
We're the same age. She's 2 months older than I am, but she started stand-up at 17.
Yeah.
And so I was nowhere near getting, I was still like 10 years out from starting stand. I mean, maybe I was 26 or something, but,
Right.
But yeah, so she started way before I did. And so yeah, she was a known stand-up and doing bit parts in movies and TV and stuff. And then years later, after I had met her at that party, I was doing stand-up at this place called Luna Lounge in New York. That was like the place to perform. And when I got off stage, Sarah was so complimentary to me. And at this point, she was definitely more known. And then she asked for my number. And I remember thinking, oh, I probably won't hear from her because, people are very flaky. And she seemed like a very famous person to me. And then she called me and was like, "Hey, it's Sarah Silverman. Do you want to go to lunch?" And I was like, "Sure." And then
That's
we
so
started
nice.
hanging out. Yeah.
I love when people call each other.
Well, this was a long time ago.
Yeah, I miss it.
Yeah. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like to check that when you're sharing an interesting fact from social media, you actually do some fact checking first, preferably on a reputable website.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm trying to think of mine. Like,
oh yeah, she was like, "It's Sarah Silverman. I met you at Luna Park," and I was like, "Oh, I know who you are." I remember.
I guess I'm gonna say like maybe Lisa Kudrow, because it was like I was friends with people who were kind of England comedy scene famous or were on the panel shows and that type of thing. But for us, this little British show, to have Lisa Kudrow flying over, and then when we kind of broke through into being actual friends and like couldn't stop talking, that was probably my first famous
That was
friend.
your first one?
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was 8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question though. I want to hear the answer. I want to hear what famous friends Kayla has.
I am just a boring English teacher in the state of Utah, so I don't think I have any famous friends. But one time I had the opportunity to chit-chat after sliding into the DMs of Tig's old roommate, Chris Fairbanks. Back before Chris had any boundaries, he would message his followers back when they messaged him on Instagram. And so I've kind of felt like I had a brush with fame as me and Chris talked about. Well, I don't remember, so it mustn't have been that interesting. Thanks so much, you guys. Your podcast brings me joy and keeps me sane. Thank you for doing what you do, and we all love you very, very much.
Oh, well, thank you, Kayla. And I can't fully speak for Chris Fairbanks, but I would not be surprised if he would continue to be responding to people these days.
Yeah. I mean, there definitely was a moment when social media was new that you could message like your idols on MySpace and stuff, and they would respond to you. And you were like chatting. I mean, I had I used
Are
to
you
go on
sure you had their right account?
I mean, I used to go on tomgreen.com and chat to Tom Green when I was like, he'd talk to all his fans.
That's great. I bet he still does.
Yeah, I bet he does. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Hi, Fortune, Mae, and Tig. My name is Gabby, and I am a pretty little lady out in Denver, Colorado.
Nice.
My question for you is this. If you're traveling on an airplane, do you prefer to sit in the window seat, the aisle seat, or, my goodness, the middle seat?
Can you imagine?
Psychopath would say the middle. Oh, God.
Oh.
Can I say my prediction of your answer?
Yeah.
Because I know that you get claustrophobic. I know you like to pee, so I'm going to say aisle for you.
I like to pee.
Yeah, I know it's one of your favorite things to do.
Oh my God. When I am not recording Handsome, I am on the can.
It's one of your hobbies.
Well, that's a really good guess, but I do like the middle.
No.
Just kidding.
Oh my God.
No, I prefer the window. That also helps with claustrophobia. And I also have issues with dizziness.
Oh.
And it's helpful if I can open or close the window shade, based on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah, the window.
I'm an aisle guy because as soon as I know that I can't pee, like once I get settled and then if the person next to me falls asleep or something, and, like the anxiety, I can spend 2 hours trying to like work up the courage to wake someone up. And but I hate when you're on the aisle and then the cart goes by and knocks your elbow.
Or your knee or your precious little toe.
Exactly.
It's tough stuff, Mae.
It's tough out there.
Yeah, it really is. Especially if you're a gecko.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Should we hear the answer?
Yeah.
Gabby, where do you like to sit on the airplane?
I do believe that there is a correct answer, but I've heard multiple different perspectives that are also valid too. For me, I prefer the window seat. I like to tuck myself in, get my neck pillow, get my sweatshirt, and just post up there for the duration of the flight. The only negative thing is sometimes I drink too much water and I wish I was in the aisle. Thank you so much for answering my question. Hope you guys have a great week.
Thanks, Gabby. Yeah, I mean, in terms of curling up, I guess window supremacy for sure. But
yeah. And you're also more private. You're just like wedged in there. You've got your own little dome going on.
Yeah,
you
true.
know? Yeah.
Have you ever taken a blanket and put it over your whole head?
No.
And okay.
But go on. Let's hear the rest of the story.
And over the chair in front of you, and then you have made a little tent. But then I think people will assume you're doing weird stuff under there. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Even if you're doing normal stuff under there, it's still weird to
It's
create
pretty
a tent.
yeah, antisocial behavior.
I'm pretty good about when I have to get out of the aisle, though, even if somebody's sleeping.
You step over like a
I'll step over and I'll try to not interrupt them,
yeah.
but I'm also okay if I do.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I feel the same. I if somebody needs to get out and I'm in their way, don't hold back. Tap me, step over me, ask me to get the hell out of your way. I get it. No problem.
But there's a breaking point. It's when it's like 3 times in an hour, you're going to be like, are you fucking kidding? But there's nothing like trying to step over a sleeping person on a plane and you're like doing the splits over their lap and then they wake up and your crotch is in their face.
And you're not, or you don't even have to go to the bathroom. You just do the splits over them and just awkwardly stay there until they wake up and say, what is happening?
Yeah.
All right. Well, gosh, keep sending in these questions. They're fun to have to like think this stuff through.
Yeah. I learned about you today. I would have for sure said aisle, but it's window.
I learned about myself in these as well. I learned about you, me, learned nothing about Thomas.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah. Don't have a clue what Fortune would say. But yeah, send your questions in to speakpipe.com/handsomepod. That is speakpipe.com/handsomepod. And subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel, because then you can see Mae's jug of water. Oh, it has turned nut brown.
It's not brown water. I've made a little dent even as we've been recording. Check it out on YouTube. You can see the process.
Yeah. Head on over to YouTube right this second and watch that water go. You don't want to miss that either on YouTube.
I just almost drowned.
Yeah, you sure did. It was a pleasure knowing you, though. And
pleasure knowing you.
And yeah, send your friends an episode of Handsome and help build this handsome crew. Go to tignotaro.com for anything that you might need.
And maymartinmusic.com. I got some gigs coming up, some cool merch. And I guess aside from that, all that remains is to remind everyone to please
keep it pretty handsome.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like you know to check that when you make a pop culture reference, your two co-hosts know what you're talking about, or else you might get caught in a classic 2-against-1 situation.
Checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
That was a HeadGum podcast.